What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another Major League Baseball video. I hope that you guys don't mind this new setup. If it's too weird, let me know in the comment section down below. But today we have something very, very fun to talk about. The thing that everyone loves to talk about at Thanksgiving dinner, money. Is it money or is it politics? Wait, let me ask Donald Trump. Yo, Trump, do we talk about money?
Wrong.
Oh, okay, that's right. So we talk about politics at Thanksgiving, not money. So we're good to talk about money. So let's just jump into it. Today's topic is going to be the worst contracts in baseball history. So the way that this video is going to work is we are going to start off with players that are already retired, so they're no longer playing baseball, so we can have fair judgment. And then there are players that are still playing, so we're going to see if their contract plays out, but as of right now, it's been bad. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using my favorite website in the entire world. You know how a lot of people spend a lot of time on YouTube? I spend all of my time on Baseball Reference, whether I'm at home or in college and trying to distract myself from the boring lecture. I'm looking at baseball stats, so this is going to be a lot of fun. What the heck is that? So I like this Pablo a little bit better than the one that zoomed in. So what we're going to do is we are quickly going to go over his salary. So the cool thing about this website is it shows you how much they made. So when he was with the Giants, he was making about $3.5 to $8 million, so not too much, but it's still a lot of money for the average American person. He's not even American. But if we go down to his Red Sox contract, $17 million in 2015, and every single year after that, 2016, 2017. So let's see what he did in terms of production for those 3 years, from 2015 to 2017. So if we click this guy, go to 2017. So his average, all right, so he played an average of 69 games to have no triples, 6 home runs, 26 RBIs, and a .234 batting average to go along with a .644 OPS. So pretty much he was Billy Hamilton minus the Gold Glove, minus the stolen bases, minus the pretty much everything. So I'm going to put Pablo Sandoval at the top spot. I'm not going to go in order, so I'm not saying this is the worst or anything like that, but honestly, I had to show him first because my gosh, that is really bad. Coming up next, I hope you guys don't hate me for this, but David Wright signed an 8-year, $138 million contract. Now, don't get me wrong, David Wright earned this contract 1,000%. If we take a look at his numbers, I mean, he had 27 home runs to go along with 17 stolen bases in 2005, 26 and 20, 30 and 34, 33 and 15 to go along with a couple Gold Gloves. David Wright was the dream third baseman. Anything that you needed him to do, David Wright could get you it on the diamond. Now, the thing about David Wright is starting in 2010, you know, he had an all-star year, he was great. But in 2014, 15, and 16, he made $20 million. Also in 2017 and 2018, he made $20 million in each of those seasons. So let's see what he did from the span of 2014 to 2018. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that he was injured. If it was up to David Wright, he would not have these 162 game averages. So from that, alright, so he averaged a span of 53 games. Again, no triples, 5 home runs, and 20. Alright, so I feel so terrible. He did have a .734 OPS. Now, this is pretty much him as a handicapped man. David Wright, in my opinion, in his prime, is a top 7 third baseman of all time. You could probably argue a top 5, maybe even top 3, but for right now, I would say the fact that he was given $20 million a year to get you an average of 53 games and only 5 home runs. I know it was injuries, but that's a terrible contract. Now, this one pains me because Josh Hamilton is one of my favorite players of all time. I would say my top 3 players are Grady Sizemore, Josh Hamilton, and Cliff Lee. So the reason why I chose Josh Hamilton is because he had 2 bad contracts. The first one being he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays in the first round of the 1999 draft. If we go down to his stats, there is no Tampa Bay. That's because of alcohol and drugs and tattoos and all the demons that were inside of Josh Hamilton. They got to him. So he was drafted in 1999, did not make his debut until 2007 with the Cincinnati Reds. So he squandered that. I believe it was a $3.8 million signing bonus. Now, the second contract that he got a ton of money for is when he was with the Rangers. He was really good, won an MVP. So the Angels, they wanted to throw a ton of money at him. So the first year with the Angels, he had $17 million. The next year, 17. And then in 2015, they paid him $22 million. And as we can see, in 2015, when he made that $22 million, he played in 50 games, had 8 home runs, 25 RBIs, and a .253 batting average. The year before, 89 games. The year before, 151, where he did have a decent season where he had 21 home runs, 79 RBIs, and a .250 batting average. But in my opinion, that is not worth 17 million, let alone 22. So Josh Hamilton, unfortunately, makes the list. So the next player that we have to talk about was drafted in the same year as Josh Hamilton. So they were teammates back in the day. He has a 39.2 WAR for his career, which is really good. Now, when he was with the Rays, Carl Crawford was he was one of the best players in the league. He would have 19 triples, 11 home runs, 55 RBIs as a leadoff hitter to go along with 59 stolen bases. So Carl Crawford was amazing. So what they did is they gave him a big old fat contract later on in his career. The Red Sox did. So he started off with the Rays, then he went to the Red Sox, and he had a pretty decent season with the Red Sox, getting paid $14 million. But then we can see when he was with the LA Dodgers, he was traded because the contract was so bad. So in 2013, 14, and 2015, he made $20+ million. And yeah, we can see that in that span. Let's see what he did. So he averaged 80 games, so that's the most of anyone so far, but 4 home runs, 25 RBIs, 12 stolen bases, and a 720 OPS to go along with the 278 batting average. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're a major leaguer, those are pretty alright stats, but it's not worth 20, and $21 million. He still got away with 107 for his career, so I don't think Carl Crawford really cares. Another player that it bums me that we have to talk about is Ryan Heyward. The reason why it bums me out is because if we take a look at his stats, 58 and 149 with a 313 batting average, that is one of the best offensive seasons that I've ever seen in my entire life. The following year, 47 and 136, 48 and 146, 45 and 141. So if you needed someone to just hit you a lot of home runs and get you a lot of RBIs, you were either calling Ryan Heyward or Prince Fielder. Now, the thing about Ryan Heyward is he suffered the same injury as Kobe Bryant, the Achilles injury. We can see that from 2011 to 2016, he was making $20+ million. Towards the end of his career, he was making $25 million, which is back then, that was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money right now. The things that I would do for just 1 year of $25 million. But as we can see in his final years, when he was making 25, so we go from 2014 to 2016, yeah, he did average 131 games, so he wasn't that bad. He also averaged 24 home runs and 77 RBIs, which again is not horrible, but that 219 batting average and a 706 OPS, that'll get you every time. That is not worth 25. I would say maybe 5 to 6 million, but oh, that's rough. Coming up next, we have Barry Zito. Apparently, he's from Las Vegas. I did not know that. So back in the day, he was one of the best pitchers, as we can see, 3.49 ERA, 2.75, 3 blah, blah, blah. He won a Cy Young, so he was pretty good. So he got a contract that was pretty hefty. Oh my gosh, 14, 18, 18, 18, 19, and 20. So let's see what he did for the last, let's go 6 years of his career. So we got to go oh no. Oh, so in that, he went 52 and 67 with a 4.68 ERA. Yeah, but he made a lot of money. So, all right. That's a lot of money to not really do that great. Okay. So just like Barry Zito, our next player, Mike Hampton, this little guy right here, he's 5'10", so not the biggest guy in the world, but we can see that he had 1 year where he almost won the Cy Young. He also won 1, 2, 3. Whoa, he won 5 Silver Sluggers as well. So he could hit a little bit as well. But in 1999, he went 22 and 4. So he was pretty solid. And then we can see the salary. Oh my gosh. I think that I actually read something that he's still being paid to this day by the Rockies. So in 2001, he was paid $10 million. Then it dropped down to 9. Then it was 2003 to 2005. He made 13, 14, 15. And then he took 3 years off probably due to injuries. Made another 15. So let's 3.84, a 6.15, a 4.28, a 4.85. Man, this, I'm not going to say anything because I know it was injuries, but this guy, I'm not going to say he stole money, but yeah, I'm not going to say that. It was injuries. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But Mike Hampton makes the list. And then the last player that we're going to talk about of players that are no longer in the league, he might be retired. I don't know. The last time that I heard of Melvin Upton, a lot of people know him as BJ Upton, the brother of Justin Upton. He was with the Indians, but I'm not sure where he is right now. We can see that he was pretty solid. So in his prime, he had a 24 and 82 season with 22 stolen bases. Then he followed up with 44, 42, 42, 36. So Melvin Upton was a pretty solid player. He wasn't the best offensive guy with his bat, but in terms of fielding, arm, and speed, he could really do all that different stuff. So we can see with the Atlanta Braves, 12 million, 13 million. Then he was shipped off to the Padres for 14 million and made 71 in his career. So as we can see, when he was paid all that money, what? 126 games with the Braves, he hit 184. The following year, he hit 208. My grandma could do better. Nah, I'm not going to say that. My grandma probably can't. My grandpa can. But 184, I'm pretty sure I could do that. So I hit lefty. I might be able to do that right-handed. Yeah, that's a horrible contract. That is worth, that's not even worth a minimum, okay? You're cut. How did this guy, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm dumbfounded. Wow, it's a lot of money. So Melvin Upton Jr. or BJ Upton was gonna be the last player that we talk about from players that are no longer playing. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to discuss the players that are still in the league right now. If you Googled them, they're still on a roster, and man, some of these are just incredibly that's all I can do is it's annoying, but I'm gonna do that one more time. Coming in at the number 1 spot, I'm going to give this man the number 1 spot. Actually, there might be one other guy that is tied, but Chris Davis signed a 7-year, $161 million. You know how many Chipotle burritos that buys? A lot, okay? So if we take a look at his stats, in 2018, I'm just going to talk about 2018 because it was one of the worst offensive seasons I've ever seen in my entire life. So in 2018, he made $23 million to give you a negative 2.8 WAR. And the reason why it was so bad is because if we take a look at his stats, in 128 games, he provided 16 home runs, 49 RBIs, 41 walks to 192 strikeouts, and a 168 batting average. Wow. There's just no words. He almost won the MVP back in 2013, so that's probably why he got the contract when he hit 286 with 53 bombs, and then he had a 47 bomb season. But the strikeouts, he cannot cut back on them, and my gosh, this is just $161 million to hit 168. Nice. Now, don't get me wrong, Jason Heyward is one of the best outfielders that this game has ever seen on the defensive side. He's a first-round draft pick. When he had his first at-bat for the Braves, I'm pretty sure that he hit a home run. We see that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold gloves, so he can really do anything in the outfield that you need an outfielder to do because he's got a really good arm as well. Now, he was pretty good. He had a 6.4 WAR, followed by a 5.5, a 6.6, so he was amazing when he first started out in his career. That's why he got, what was his contract? And if we take a look at his contract, Jason Heyward got an 8-year, $184 million deal. So in 2016, he was paid 21. In 2017, he was paid 28. Same in 2018, he was paid 28, the exact same. So let's see what he did in those last 3 years from 2016 to 2018. Now, he still played a good amount of games. He averaged 132. But the thing about Jason Heyward is, this is not acceptable for a $180 million plus contract. He has a 688 OPS. He has a 252 batting average. He averages 9 home runs and 55 RBIs to go along with, 118 hits. That's maybe worth $5-6 million. That's not worth $28 million a year. Now, I love Jason Heyward. I would want him on the Indians because maybe he can turn it around, but as of right now, this is one of the worst contracts I've ever seen. The thing about this video is I'm not trying to say these guys don't deserve it because they had to work their butt off in their early life and then eventually make it to the big leagues to get this money. So they obviously proved people right in terms of they were really good. I don't know if it was because of Father Time or if the league figured them out. I mean, we can see Albert Pujols is a first ball Hall of Famer. He has a 100 WAR for his career. He's insane. And we can see that Albert Pujols has always made a ton of money, but the Angels, so back in 2012, they gave him a 10-year, $240 million contract. The way that it worked is it would start off him not making as much money, and then it would really load on. So he started off 12 million, 16, then 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So this is where it really bites you in the butt. So from 2016 to 2018, let's see what he did in the last 3 years where he made almost 80. I can't really do the math right now, but he made a ton of money, 25, 26, and 27. So from 2016 to 2018, now he still played a good amount of games. He averaged 139 with 24 home runs, 95 RBIs, and a 719 OPS. So again, he was still decent. Albert Pujols was, a shell of himself considering what he did in his career. I mean, he had a 1.102 OPS, a 1.114 OPS. This man was a god. He's a 3-time MVP, but for $27 million a year, I think that you could do better than 117 games with 19 home runs and 64 RBIs with a 700 OPS. But that's just me. Oh man, this is one of my favorite pitchers in the league as well, Felix Hernandez. And when he was in the same rotation as Cliff Lee, the Mariners were quickly becoming one of my favorite teams to watch. He has a 50.9 career WAR, so we know he is big time. But yeah, he signed a 5-year, $135.5 million contract, so that is so much money. That is so much money to play a game that we all know and love, but we're just not good enough to make it to the pros. That kind of sucks. Like, we have to work at Apple. We have to make YouTube videos. That's what I do. I don't know what you guys do. But $22 million. He was an All-Star. 2015, he made 24, so he was an All-Star. But the last 3 year, guys, yeah, 2016 to 2018. It's always 2016 to 2018. I'm not sure why these guys fell off, but he made 25, 26, and 26. And in those years, he produced a 3.82 in 2016, so not bad, not terrible. In 2017, he had a 6-5 record with a 4.36. And then in 2018, he hit rock bottom, man. He had an 8-14 record with a 5.55 ERA. And if my memory serves me right, he was demoted to the bullpen. So you're paying $26 million for a bullpen pitcher. Yikes. We're going to go over this one pretty quick because I don't want to be too mean to this man because I think he's a nice guy. But Jordan Zimmerman, when he joined the Tigers, he was paid a lot of money. I'm pretty sure he signed a 5-year, $110 million deal. So we got 18 million. So just like the other guys from 2016 to 2018, my man fell off, but he made 18, and 24. And in those years, he had a 4.87 ERA, a 6.08 ERA, and a 4.52 ERA. My man Jordan Zimmerman, I mean, I don't know if he's a pitcher or a thief because my man is stealing money. So our next player, I kind of forgot that he was even in the league. Let's see what he looks like now. So that was when he was a rookie with the Red Sox. All right, now he was drafted in the 23rd round, and then he was drafted in the first round. So it just goes to show you guys, don't give up because then you can make a huge amount of money. As we can see, Jacoby Elsbury got a 7-year, $153 million deal from the New York Yankees after he was a star with the Red Sox. He's made 21, so he pretty much makes $21 million ever since 2014 in every single year. So from that 4-year span, from 2014 to 2017, let's see what his average span is. So he's averaged 130 games played with 10 home runs, 50 RBIs, 26 stolen bases, 45 walks to 82 strikeouts, and a 264 batting average. So again, not completely horrible, not the worst stats that we've seen so far, but for $21 million a year for him to play 112, he didn't even play in 2018. So, yeah. Not fun. It's so weird making this video because when I was growing up, these were the stars. Like, if you played any baseball game, you wanted these guys on your team. They were absolutely incredible. Jose Reyes is one of those guys, though, that he started off amazing. As we can see, 60 stolen bases, 64, 78. He was on the cover of MLB 2K. Like, this man was a star in baseball. And then came the contract with the Miami Marlins. Now, don't get me wrong, he didn't do that bad. He had a 4.5 offensive WAR in his first year, but it wasn't worth it to the Marlins. So they shipped him off to the Toronto Blue Jays. And before I even talk about his stats, I do want to give you his contract. It was a 6-year, $106 million, which is actually not that bad. But if we take a look at his 2012 to 2018 span, let's see what happens. So he's averaged 118 games with 9 home runs. Again, he was never a huge power hitter, but he had 42 RBIs, 21 stolen bases, a 270 batting average with a 731 OPS. Again, it's not horrible, but I don't think it's worth these guys right here, $22 million. Now, he did sign a new deal for $2 million, so that's about what he's worth. But it just goes to show you guys that if you're deciding between football and baseball, if you're Kyler Murray, my man, if you're watching this right now, take Jose Reyes, for example. You could be the next Jose Reyes. Just play baseball, man. Don't risk the concussions. Don't risk your life. Just go ahead and get your $106 million to pretty much be average. Please do me a favor. Do us all a favor and do that. Thank you. And then last but not least, as we can see, you guys might have forgotten who this dude was. I thought he was maybe going to be the next Yoenis Cespedes, or, I mean, he doesn't have the same arm or the same power, but maybe like a poor man's Yoenis Cespedes because he was from Cuba as well. Was Yoenis Cespedes from Cuba? I'm pretty sure that he was, but if he's from the Dominican, don't make fun of me. But this man was given a 7-year, $72.5 million contract, which is the lowest that we've talked about so far. But the fact that he made $11 million in 2015 and $11 million in 2016 to give you 89 games total and a 1.6 WAR for his career so far, I mean, come on, man. He made $11 million to play in 80 games, gets you 5 home runs, 29 RBIs. He was caught stealing more than he actually had stolen bases. He had a 253 batting average with a 647 OPS. Dude, Rusney Castillo is, wow, that is so much money, guys. Like, this kind of just puts everything in perspective. If you guys are out there playing ball right now, if you guys are grinding, please don't stop because you can be super average. If you just show that you have the potential to be good, even if it doesn't work out, you can still be signed by Rock Nation Sports and make $72 million. So, yeah. There's the video. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. I know this was kind of a different little topic, but I thought it was a lot of fun to see how much money these guys made because, again, all of these players earned their money. They were amazing at the start of their career. I don't know if it was the fame. I don't know if it was the pressure. I don't know if it was father time, but something happened to the point where they just fell off, and they still got paid 25+ million. Some of them got paid 28. So, guys, if I did miss anyone, let me know in the comment section down below. I know there were a few players that we did not talk about, but we talked about a ton in this video. So, if you enjoyed, slap a like on this one. If you want to see more baseball content, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.